I'm Ryan Newman, and since I started with Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives, I found out that some people think that they can't be an organ donor. The truth is, anyone can sign up to be an organ donor.
Anyone?
Anyone?
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. Anyone can sign up to be an organ donor. So don't count yourself out because somebody's counting on you. Go to driventosavelives.org and sign up today.
But my heart's going to you, Ryan.
Love that shirt.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the kickoff to your Memorial Day weekend festivities. God, I love this weekend. My name is Chris Graham. Thank you so much for coming to hang out with us. Joined in the booth, as always, by Mr. James Watson. We got the Bizzler in here with us, too. U.S. open wheel doubleheader. We're going to start it off with the cars of the Indy Pro 2000 series. The real-world counterparts just finished qualifying out at Indianapolis Raceway Park. The iRacing version of these guys are going to take on Worldwide Technology Raceway, the artist formerly known as Gateway here in Madison, Illinois. 1.25 miles, turns 1 and 2, tighter but with more banking, turns 3 and 4, wider but with only 9 degrees of banking, very Milwaukee-esque. Will Power holding the track record here to 23.7206 in the 2017 Spec Indy car. Knew we'd get that rise out of James Watson. I'll tell you what here, though. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 3 is 15. 15 cars on the entry list for this one here tonight. And, James, this one could potentially be, I don't want to, it's not a dud, it's not a snoozer, it's 15 of the best on the iRacing platform going toe-to-toe at a place like Gateway. It's going to be a fun one to watch.
Oh, it's going to be incredible. This is one of our best examples of the hybrid pack-style race that we get from this car. Like, you're going to be in a pack, close quarters, white-knuckle driving, but you're going to have to wheel the absolute hell out of this car. It's going to be so awesome to watch these guys wheel these cars around. It's going to be heart racing, jaw dropping, and maybe a little bit exciting.
Well, in Bizzle, we just saw these guys on Tuesday night as Richard Holt goes top of the board with a lap time of 31.586. Let's see if we can't pick him up here. We'll get you the side-by-sides going on.
Yeah, I uncharacteristically ran a official race in this car this week. I believe it was Tuesday night. Or it might have even been last night. I'm losing my dates. But anyway, I would have loved to have a chance to comment on how great the racing is, but I got wrecked in lap 1, turn 1 by some guy who couldn't keep his wheels under him. So I got to watch a fantastic race go on from the pits, so I'm really hoping these guys can do it again. A lot of the same drivers were in that race are in the race now, so hopefully going to be a real good one tonight.
Yeah, I hope so. Richard Holt still holding on to quick time at a 31.509. Teddy B, Ted Burns on the racetrack. He will come around to complete lap number 1. Everett Paddock, new quick time, top of the board. David Porcelli only going to be 38 thousandths back. Paddock 31.450, 31.488 for Porcelli. They are both done. Richard Holt, Ted Burns, Wes Shire, they're all finished as well. Let's pick up Stephen C. Thompson making his way down the front stretch. He is starting on lap number 1 of his qualifying attempt. Richard Holt still out here turning laps. He's going to be third quick on the board. None of the extras are going to count. Kylo Ciacelli also on the racetrack. Let's see if we can't pick up Kylo here, and we'll bring you up the split screens. There will be Ciacelli down in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. Lap number 1 for Stephen C. Thompson, going to be a 32.112. Kylo Ciacelli's first lap, 31.777. Both of those drivers, Ciacelli 0.3 off a quick time. Thompson 0.3 off of Ciacelli's time. Down the front straightaway, Ciacelli under the checkered flag. What does lap number 2 look like? That's going to be good enough for 6 quick. Stephen C. Thompson, he's going to stay back there in the 15th position. Time for us to get ready to show you where everybody's lining up here. And let's see. And we'll pull this one up here. And let's bring up our full screen grid for the U.S. Open Wheel Championship. Everett Paddock will be your quick timer, 31.450 seconds. Like we said, only 38th out back is going to be David Porcelli on the outside of road number 1. Road 2 will have the Target Chip Ganassi Lightning Bolts of Richard Holt lining up alongside the Homestead Coffee Tales from Rukon on YouTube, number 6 of Westshire. Just Tuesday night, he picked up the championship in the TNT Shock Series right here at this racetrack with a, quite frankly, incredible save down the back straightaway, battling with Carter Lundy. Row number 3 will see Ben Carswell. Oh my goodness. Ben, you're a hero. The Glenlivet sponsored number 48 of Ben Carswell. He'll be the 8 on your timing and scoring alongside the DeChaco Farms Team Watson Racing Setups Petro Canada Chemicals, number 10 of Kylo Ciacelli. I think that's what it is. Petro Canada Lubricants, something like that. Anyway, row number 4 is going to see the Downforce Racing Championship scheme of Ted Burns, lining up alongside the United States Army, number 2 of Carter Lundy. Oh, this one's going to be fun. We'll talk you through some of the numbers here in just a minute on Lundy's season. It has been absolutely insane. Row 5, Simon Fell lining up in the 9th position in car number 5, alongside the Team Watson Racing Setups, number 7 of Nagisa Yoshikawa in position number 10. Row 6 will see the Pennzoil Yellow Submarine of Joseph Heath with the Danny Rick Dale Earnhardt helmet. That's beautiful. I love the combo. Lining up alongside the number 15 of Jason Griffin. Ryan Karszewski lining up alongside of Rod Eskew on row number 7. And on row number 8, it will be all alone, Mr. Stephen C. Thompson. 15 cars on the entry list for this one here tonight. Carter Lundy, when he shows up, has been an absolute menace to the championship contenders. 5 races, 4 wins, 5 top 5s, and 4 poles entering tonight's race. But we'll see what's going to come from it tonight, because this split here, James, is an absolute heater as the field's in turn 3.
Yeah, one of our better oval SOFs. Like, we don't usually get high numbers because, like, everyone doesn't quite put a whole lot of time into their oval iRating, but, like, thanks to all the peer pressure from us here at Shock, we get them to run a lot more, and it definitely shows.
Green flag goes in the air. Great start for Everett Paddock. Field screaming off towards turn number 1, right into your living room. My goodness, these cars do look absolutely thrilling here. Kylo Ciacelli, 3 wide, down to the inside, towards turn number 3.
Oh boy. It's so sketchy in 1 and 2 on lap 1. Be careful, boys.
Yeah, that's exactly where I got killed. Kylo never afraid to go full send at these ovals. He's shown once again he is one of the best here. and kind of putting a little bit of fear in all the rest of the drivers. They're still 3 wide.
Yeah,
The founder of the Never Lift Squad.
Now Richard Holt gonna have the look inside to make it 3 wide into turn number 3. Cautions are on for this one. They won't be for the next one. Hopefully we don't need them though. This one's gonna be 45 laps in distance. Lap number 3 already going up on the board. It will be Everett Paddock, David Porcelli, Carter Lundy, Kylo Ciacelli, and Wes Shire, your top 5. Fastest lap of the race belongs to Stephen C. Thompson, doing it from shotgun on the field. Here comes Porcelli having the look to the inside. He wants the race lead into 3. Looks like he'll get the job done, and he's going to bring Carter Lundy with him. Let's bring up the onboard. Go onboard here with Carter Lundy down the back straightaway. Following Everett Paddock, he has Kylo Ciacelli and Wes Shire both looking inside. Lundy in an absolutely epic battle in the, I guess it was the 7 o'clock U.S. Open Wheel D-Class race, the USF race. Oh, it was a fantastic show they put on. 4 or 5 cars battled the entire race on that one. As Ben Carswell puts up a new fastest lap of the race at a 31.3. And James, this is what we're going to see now. The draft is going to come into play, and the fastest lap is not going to be somebody at the front. It's probably going to be the guy who's like 2/3 of the way back in the field.
Yeah, and like all the top guys knew that. You had, in the race we ran after Shock Tuesday night, you had J08 and Carter Lundy fall all the way to down to like 7th to try hard and get the fastest lap. So if you're into that, then okay. But personally, fastest lap don't pay me no points or iRating. I could not care less.
Yeah, and Patrick, now we're one of the things we're not going to deal with tonight is pitch strategy. These guys can go 45 laps absolutely flat out. You don't have to think fuel, you're not thinking tire saving. It's absolute go the entire time.
Yep, you're pretty much holding it wide open the entire way, breathing the throttle through 1 and 2, and then just breathing it again for turns 3 and 4. And that is all you were doing. Your left foot, you could stick it up to the side, maybe put it on the ottoman. You do not need to touch the brakes here.
This is the pack race we were hoping for. Less than 2 seconds separating first place David Porcelli from last place Stephen C. Thompson. But James, we talked about, you can go hard the whole way, but that doesn't mean abuse your tires and use the stuff up. If you can save a little here and there, you should do it, because that means you're going to have a little bit more at the end of this race.
Yeah, but that's such a hard thing because, you run the risk of putting yourself at an insurmountable deficit. Just because they're packed does not mean it's easy to make passes. Like the middle outside line is still dominant in 1 and 2. 3 and 4, it's still inside is best. But yeah, it's still difficult to make it through. So. Yeah, I don't know if you can only save so much, but like the other thing is that tire wear is still pretty significant. So yeah, it's up to you really.
Well, David Porcelli holding on to the race lead. Ted Burns looking inside of Everett Paddock. As Paddock sets a new fastest lap of the race at a 31.3, 31.298, I guess, if we want to be pedantic about it. But the interesting thing I'm watching here, Bizzle, is as hard as these guys are racing right behind your top 3, they're not able to break away. Porcelli, Lundy, and Paddock just cannot get away from this pack behind them.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how good you are, how fast you are. As soon as the guy behind you gets in the draft, he gets sucked right back up to you. You can't do anything about it. His car just becomes that much faster than yours.
Lundy looking inside for the race lead. He'll get that pass cleared before they even get to turn number 4. Paddock thinking about the move inside. He pulls back out. The crossover by Porcelli down the front stretch. I think it was Porcelli at the line by a few thousandths. Oh my goodness, this race is going to tick by in a big time hurry unless we get some cautions. So we'll keep you updated on what we're going to do with the streams. We may actually go offline depending on how quickly this one goes. But only about 7 minutes into this race, and we're approaching the 1/3 mark. As Kylo Ciacelli gets to the front, he thought about 3 wide into 1. Ryan Karszewski goes new fastest lap. Wow, big hook from West Shire from the outside lane down to the inside. I think they may be bump drafting their way down the backstretch.
You kinda can bump draft. Just have to be super careful about it. Since, you know, we first started racing and first started doing it, it's hard to... You have to be careful because it's a lot easier to bend up the wing if you're not too careful. A lot easier than back when J06 had his famous bump and run on West.
Lundy back inside of Porcelli for the lead. He's going to have it done there, but can he hold it at the line? Porcelli got a great run off of 4 a couple of laps ago. He's going to do it again. Lundy, the Pruitt fade. Lundy led the lap. Porcelli's going to lead into 1. Oh my goodness, what a fantastic battle we have going on here. Cody Brooks checking in the comments a moment ago saying, I don't know how to not abuse tires. Welcome to the club, brother. I am absolute hot garbage at that on here. Speaking of me being hot...
Spill all tires.
Speaking of me being hot garbage, the Vintage Indy is coming up here in just about a week. Information will be going up on the socials tomorrow morning with some test sessions after the Memorial Day holiday. Next Saturday night, 50 minutes of racing, multi-class, IRO1s doing 250 plus miles an hour into turn 1 at Indianapolis, along with the IRO5 crap wagon, the Lotus 79, the Lotus 49, and the sprint cars that will be doing about 180 miles an hour into the corners. A nearly 80 mile per hour speed difference from the fastest to the slowest.
Not only that, the mid-corner speed is the real big deal. The IRO ones will still maintain 240 through the mid-corner. The Lotus 49s will be doing maybe 130, possibly 135 through the mid-corner. It's a 100-mile-an-hour speed difference.
And don't even get me started on what us sprint cars are going to be doing. We're just going to be holding the outside line, just yelling, "Go inside, don't hurt us."
Yeah, T's
and that's
P's
the crazy thing about it. The Lotus 49, we have to take the inside. So where you guys are on the outside telling everyone to go inside, we'll be on the inside telling everyone to go outside.
Yeah,
that sounds like a you problem.
The sprints and the Lotus 49s are almost identical on lap times. They just do it so completely differently. The sprint cars do monster speed down the straightaways and are just borderline uncontrollable in the corners. Where the Lotus 49s lack in straight line speed, they are faster through the corners. They're going to be a ton of fun to watch.
It backwards.
Oh, I'm sorry, I got it backwards.
Yeah, the sprint cars are fantastically faster in the corners, and then the Lotus 49 just pulls on them down the straightaway.
Yeah, because we're just doing about a mile-long burnout down every freaking straightaway.
Yeah, they can't hold it wide open down the straights.
Oh, that's awesome. Almost as awesome as the battle for the race lead here. Rapidly approaching the halfway point of this one. Kylo Ciacelli having to look inside of Carter Lundy. David Porcelli back to the head of the line. Lundy up 6 from where he qualified Gonna make him the hard charger. Westshire maybe thinking about avoiding the carnage here. He is down 7, running in the 11th position. He's only going to be about 1 second behind your race leaders, though.
Yeah, he runs a risk. There's one other risk I forgot to mention when we were talking about saving tires. The other risk is losing the draft, because all it takes is for someone to have one small moment, save it, but then suddenly you lose the draft and your race is completely done unless you get a caution.
I'll tell you what, James, if somebody has a moment, it's going to involve 2/3 of the field, the way they're packed up. They're running pace laps at 160-mile-an-hour corner entry speed here in turn 3.
Isn't it incredible?
We want the Freedom 100 back.
We'll make our own Freedom 100 with blackjack and slower cars.
Oh, Yoshikawa goes around. Carswell clips him. Caution
Well,
is
James,
out.
you asked for slower cars, and the caution is out.
Yeah, nailed that one.
Oh, that's disappointing. This is Yosh's first race back in quite some time. He was on injured reserve after an unfortunate softball accident, so it's great to see him back out here. Hopefully that car is not too damaged.
Yeah, it didn't
How
look
do you
like...
crash a race car playing softball?
He hurt his hand and was not able to grip the wheel as well, which when you're white knuckling as much as you are around this place, you kind of need to grip the wheel with something fierce.
Let's take a look here and see what happened. Let's see. There's Yoshikawa. He's already around. Let's wind the replay back here a little bit. Yeah, it looked like, well, may have had some help. Let's see. Let's look at this one. Oh, hold on. We got a handful of cars coming down pit lane, so let's take a look here and see who's going to make pit stops. Kylo Ciacelli and David Porcelli, both on pit lane here at lap number 24. I think it's an interesting call here, Bizzle, because you could take tires, have fresher rubber than everybody, and you're all going to be packed up in the draft. Ciacelli's only going to fall to maybe 10th.
The thing about having fresh tires is it gives you confidence. Having the confidence to be able to quickly switch to the bottom line, quickly switch to the top line, make the moves that kind of the hero or zero moves, where on old tires, you kind of commit to a line in the corner, and if that line has to check up, you're kind of screwed.
Well, they're making their way off a pit lane. David Porcelli will restart this race in the 10th position. Kylo Ciacelli in 11th, Stephen C. Thompson 12th, Rod Eskew 13th. Ben Carswell and Nagisa Yoshikawa are both on pit lane for extended stops. So it looks like night will be over for both of those drivers. So now it'll be Carter Lundy, Ted Burns, Everett Paddock, Richard Holt, and Brian Karszewski, your top 5. Karszewski, your new hard charger of the race, he's up 8 from the start of this one. Looks like, unfortunately, biggest loser is going to be Ben Carswell. He is down 9 back there in the 14th position, still on pit lane. Jason Griffin also on pit lane out of position number 13. Lights are out on the iRacing safety car, and Bizzle, the one danger of making that pit stop is these are single file restarts. If cautions breed cautions, you could be in some trouble having to turn a bunch of these laps under yellow and not able to make up ground.
Yeah, it's very difficult to kind of just bring yourself back in and go out there and try and retake the lead. especially with a guy like Carter Lundy. He's going to go for the full Colton Herta restart.
Yeah, he tried that a couple of times the other night. They were interesting. Back on the front straightaway, green flag goes in the air. No stack up this time. Lundy's going to lead by 3 car lengths. At the line, it's going to be down to about a car length and a half as they get to turn number 1. Karszewski looking inside of West Shire off of turn number 2. They're going to be strung out for a moment, but as soon as they start to battle for the lead, everybody, James, is just really going to get the toe right back in.
Yep. Yeah, any restart games really doesn't help you a whole lot. Not saying that Carter did any this restart, just pointing out that unless the person behind you is full on in their sleeping in their pajamas, you're not really gonna gain a whole lot.
David Porcelli, Kylo Ciacelli restarted 10th and 11th. They're up to 8th and 9th and not making up a ton of ground here, which quite frankly is not that big of a surprise. But we're only to the halfway point in this one, Bizzle. A lot of racing left to go, and as soon as the leaders start to battle, like we said, everybody is going to pack back up again.
Yeah, as soon as they get side by side, that slows them down, allows their third car in line to catch them. And then once that third car kind of joins that fight, that allows everyone else behind them to catch up, and they get into one huge pack again.
Well, we'll see when they start to battle here at the front. The first fight's going to still be Karszewski and Shire. That's the battle for the 5th position. Great illustration there, Patrick, of you run the outside lane, it might be a little bit longer way around, but you're going to keep the momentum up on corner exit, and that can be almost as important or more important than taking the shorter way around.
Not only that, but if you're the leader and you start running that outside line, that kind of forces the guy behind you, if he wants to catch you, he's got to run the outside line as well.
Porcelli just set a new fastest lap of the race. 31.133 seconds. And they are starting to make some ground up now as Shire and Karszewski continue to battle side by side. And that really is the key, James. If you're going to take the tires, you have to make up a lot of that ground while the tires are really good early in the run.
Yeah, otherwise it's going to be absolutely pointless. Like, you have a big advantage, you need to use it. Otherwise, you just you cost yourself a whole bunch of spots and probably cost yourself the race. So you have to be really aggressive, which we've seen these two guys. We know they have problems being aggressive. We've seen them make jaw-dropping moves on ovals before. So
yeah,
they're making things interesting.
Porcelli inside of Richard Holt. Porcelli and Ciacelli are now in the heart of the battle inside the top 5. Paddock drops down inside, tries to block off Porcelli. David thought about taking the high line. Everett slides a little high, and he had nowhere to go with Richard Holt, holding him tight to the bottom of the racetrack. Porcelli now 3 wide down the front straightaway. He's going to have Ciacelli there. Porcelli able to block the runoff into turn 1. This is where you really start to see these guys potentially run out of patience a little bit too. David Porcelli is not afraid to go 3 wide.
Nope, they're going to run out of patience and people are going to run out of room.
Porcelli goes around! Porcelli's around into the wall, so's Karszewski. Caution is out, lap number 34. I don't think Porcelli hit anything. Take a look at the Hot Shoe Raceway instant replay. Oh, he may have had some help.
But nobody hit him. That car might be okay still. Following along in the drone cam.
Got the drone down the back straightaway. Oh, yeah, he got some help
just
from
a little
Kylo.
tap.
Oh, dear.
But nobody touched him. That car is okay.
The same cannot be said for Brian Karszewski, however. That car missing the rear wing, and he has to take the tow back onto the pit lane. Porcelli is going to come down. He'll be on pit lane this time. I would imagine either a meatball or just wanting to get fresh tires on it. You're going to be at the back anyway. You might as well.
Pretty much, yeah.
Let's see if we can't bring Carter Lundy up here into the booth with us for a quick interview. And Carter, I would imagine you're probably not all that upset to see that caution. Gives you a chance to control the restart, and it took them 6 or 8 laps to really get into fighting shape with you.
Yeah, it's certainly calming it down a little bit at the front. It was getting a little bit crazy there, so I guess it's nice just to be able to do another restart and be in control for a few more laps, but it's definitely probably not going to finish in this order, so hopefully I stay at the front, but we'll see.
How big a defense do you play if they start to catch up to you? Are you going like full Kyle Busch level blocking down the back straightaway, or what's the plan there?
Well, I don't really know what's going to be classified as defense, because I think the best defense is just staying on the outside, so yeah, I don't know where we need to be to plan it out for the final corner of the last lap, so we're going to have to do a little bit of racing here in the final 8 laps.
All right, buddy. Well, thank you much. We appreciate you coming to check in with us here. As we'll see, I believe. Yeah, we're. I'm
not sure he knows who Kyle Busch is.
Maybe not.
Possibly not.
But even if he doesn't, is there benefit to throwing those kind of blocks? Because eventually you do start scrubbing speed when you're weaving back and forth like that.
You're not really.
Lap of the race, absolutely, there's an advantage throwing those blocks.
Pretty much, yeah. We won't know if it was the right move to do until we see the end result, whether it ends up in victory lane or the turn 2 wall.
Well, we're down to 9 laps to go, and it'll be 8 remaining when they come back to the green flag, and they should get the one to go signal this time by. Seeing everybody trying to they've gone sort of from, at least Teddy B has anyway, gone from get the car onto the cold parts of the racetrack to now doing a little bit of the weaving back and forth to get some heat back into the tires. That's really an important thing here, Patrick, is managing tire temperatures. You don't want them to get too cold, but you also don't want them to be as blistering hot as they were when you were out there, because you won't have the grip on the restart.
No, under pace laps, you're never going to get them too hot, so you want to get them as warm as possible.
The other driver who was on pit lane at the last caution flag, Kylo Ciacelli, currently runs in the 6th position. As Carter Lundy, well, let's see. Let's go on board here. What does Carter Lundy see? He sees the inside of the pace car. That's beautiful. Thank you very much, Carter.
I want you to hit the pace car.
Come on, lady. Put the Jack Daniels down and call back later.
Green flag goes back in the air. Lundy got a good restart. Again, it's going to be 3-4 car lengths at the line, but it's already shrinking as they get to turn 1. Don't look now, but Wes Shire is in contention for this one out of the 4th position. Burns inside, Holt looking outside. Ted Burns to the race lead. Oh,
No
Lundy
time
with a
left for
big
defense
missile.
for Carter Lundy. He's got to get on the offense and chase down Ted Burns.
They're 4 wide, heading to 1.
4 wide.
This is not going to end well.
Oh, that was a huge bizzle by Lundy. Now Lundy trying to look outside of Paddock. Holt dives inside. Ciacelli's up to second. Here comes Shire inside.
How did they not die? Oh my God.
Oh, this is abject insanity, and Ted Burns loves every second of it. The lead's going to be 2 car lengths off at turn number 4. Ciacelli up to second. Paddock third. And Porcelli's back in the mix. He's up to 6th. Holt got bounced around and out of line. He's back to the 9th position. Now Lundy looking inside of Porcelli. Excuse me, inside of Paddock into 3. Here comes Ciacelli. He's going to make the move on Burns for the lead.
And there's lap traffic up ahead.
4 to go at Gateway. Oh, this race has been fantastic. And the USF race coming up is going to be even crazier. Or they're going to junk everybody in turn 1. It's going to be either or.
Yeah, the USF race fixed setup. Those cars are even slower. They might even be flat out around this place.
They were flat out and 4 wide most of the race that I watched a little bit ago. It was absolutely fantastic. As Lundy makes the big dive, 3 wide into 1.
Oh.
There's still 3 wide for the lead. Ciacelli now to the top spot. Burns looks outside. There is nowhere for Everett, Paddock, David Porcelli, and Wes Shire to go. Oh, Teddy B tries to slot in line. All 5 cars within half a second at the line. Lundy again, 3 wide into turn number 1. He's going to get some drafting help from Porcelli down the back straightaway. Burns tucked right up underneath the attenuator. Here's Porcelli looking for the lead.
What a comeback!
Oh my goodness. White flag is out. 1 lap to go here at Gateway. Ciacelli covers the inside lane. Burns going to look outside. He's going to have some help from Porcelli. Lundy inside of Porcelli. They're side by side as well. Porcelli giving the shove. Here's Lundy. He's almost in the grass.
Lundy's sliding up. He almost gets into Ciacelli. He's still sliding up. Contact between those two.
Checkered flag is out. Ted Burns wins at Gateway. They're 4 wide for 3rd.
Unbelievable.
David Porcelli comes home 2nd. Kylo Ciacelli finishes tonight in 3rd. What a finish.
I like the fireworks for these drivers. That was fireworks on the racetrack.
Oh, that was incredible. Teddy B burning them down on the front straightaway. Oh my goodness, what a show here tonight. Let's bring you up your race results. Burns by 83 thousandths over David Porcelli. Kylo Ciacelli, Carter Lundy, and Everett Paddock finished 1/10 of a second apart for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Stephen C. Thompson was 42 thousandths back in 6th. Wes Shire 7th, Richard Holt 8th, Joseph Heath 9th, and Simon Fell completes the top 10. Jason Griffin, Rod Eskew, Brian Karszewski, Ben Carswell, and Nagisa Yoshikawa complete the 15-car field for this one. Oh my goodness, what a show. Let's bring in our... Actually, hold on. Let me get the cameras fired up here for the instant replay first. Because the show for... for third place was absolutely incredible here tonight. Let's bring in our third place finisher, Mr. Kylo Ciacelli. And man, I'll tell you what, Kylo, absolutely incredible show here tonight. I don't know what more you could have done. It's kind of the nature of pack racing. If you're there at the end, you're going to have at least a shot.
Yeah, I could have won the race, Chris. That was about the only other thing I could have done. Yeah, just happy to be back up front at the SOF races. Haven't gotten too many done this year, and managed to catch the oval week. And it's fun racing these guys as always. And yeah, just a little bit short, but not much you can do at a race like that.
Yeah, I tell you what, man, fantastic show you guys put on. Talk to me a little bit about the strategy call of stopping at lap 24, I guess it was. Really seemed like having those tires, especially the mid part of the race, was a big advantage.
Yeah, it could have been if we didn't have the little incident between David and myself in the middle of that stint. It might have worked out a little bit better. We might have got some better usage out of those new tires, but still, we both came back and finished up on the podium there. So clearly, it worked out enough for us, and we got the result.
All right, buddy. Well, congratulations on the podium here tonight. And before we let you go, make sure you do all the big sponsor plugs and thank yous.
Yeah, of course. Thanks to you guys in the broadcast booth, as always, for doing this. Thanks to Team Watson Race Setups for the rocket ship that they always provide for these SOF races for me. Shout out to Limo Boys Racing, the Choco Farms, Petro Canada, Pit Viper, and the Cannabis Retail Store. See you guys next time.
All right, buddy. Well, thank you much. We appreciate you coming to check in with us here. And let's bring in our runner-up finisher here tonight, David Porcelli. And I'll tell you what, David, we're here on the white flag lap. You were up to third, but you did not do it the easy way. You back to front, and back to front again.
Yeah, what a roller coaster of a race, right? I'm actually quite proud finishing with the silver after everything that ended up happening. I knew going for tires was going to be an aggressive strategy. I knew it would work, though. Unfortunately, had that incident and had to restart the process with 7 laps to go. So I was just elated that I could gain, I think it was 7 positions in 7 laps, maybe it was 8. Yeah, just one more lap, I think I would have had Teddy, but happy for him to take the win. Feel like I'm doing the job for my championship.
Yeah, that was the other question I was going to ask you, was heading into tonight's race, you had a 150-point lead, right about 150 points over Everett. That's a big one here tonight. Even with him finishing 5th and us starting to count the drop weeks, feels like this could be a race that both of you may end up counting. And if that's the case, the championship looks pretty well in hand.
Yeah, I feel like I'm locked away with the Pro Mazdas. Just need to try and secure the USF2000. Carter is dangerously close. I like to keep it outside of 100 points, and that way I can sleep well at night. But not sure how the broadcast championship is going. Any update on that from you guys?
I have to do the points. I was not here for a couple of weeks, so I'll get the points updated on that. We'll start screaming at you guys about that this week too. But thank you much. We appreciate you coming in to check in with us here, David. And before we let you go, do all your big sponsor plugs and thank yous.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Chris. Shout out to Team Watson Racing, Satellite Racing. Thanks to Racecraft One Indianapolis. Hi to the family. And thanks to National Racing Network for putting on an awesome broadcast every week, rain or shine. Hope to see you guys in about 40.
Sounds great. Thanks, brother. We appreciate you coming to check in with us. And now it's time to talk to the guy who, quite frankly, we didn't talk about him a ton during the race, but you were right there the entire time. Ted Burns, congratulations. That was a very hard-fought win here tonight.
Yeah, it was. It was a tough track and really tough in the draft battle there. So it's just all about car placement, when to make a move, how to get your run, and yeah, just somehow managed to finally time it right, and I get my first oval strength of field win. So so that feels really good.
Yeah, and as the race went on, we saw the pit stop from David and Kylo at lap 24. Did that change your thought process at all when we got another yellow fairly shortly thereafter that, hey, maybe I need to take tires?
Yeah, I was on comms with Everett, and we were talking about that move, and it's like, I guess this would be the perfect time to do it, but we both agreed we'd rather have the track position than the fresh tires, because you just never know what's going to happen, and there's so many variables there. So obviously it worked in David's favor, being able to come back through the field, but at the end of the day, it's our car felt really competitive, and the balance was great, and so I didn't feel like I was having a huge tire dig problem. So I was totally fine, just cruising up there with the track position and just having a little bit smoother second stint there.
Yeah, and that's the thing that really seemed interesting, was watching how the balance of the cars would shift, even from lap to lap, and what lane you were having to run. Is that something you have to plan for when you're building the setup for these things, that sometimes you're going to be almost to the outside wall, sometimes you're going to be on the curb inside, you're going to be kind of everywhere, and clean air and dirty air and everything else?
Yeah, you definitely kind of need to take something into consideration. You got to be able to run multiple grooves, just be able to pass. But I think it's more, if you're not starting out front, or you don't feel like you can run away with it, you got to turn up a little bit more downforce. So you can at least get the car to turn and kind of do what you want and be able to drive it out of there. So didn't play around a whole lot with it. I'm not the huge oval setup guy. I got to rely on some of the teammates for that. But we're definitely playing around with it, and I feel like we made the right call with the downforce levels tonight, and obviously, coming out on top is where we wanted to be.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations on the win, and before we let you go, make sure you get all those big sponsor plugs and thank yous taken care of too.
Yeah, for sure. I got to thank Downforce Racing, and especially Everett for collabing with us and really helping out with the setup. I mean, he was able to put his on pole, and I was able to take the win. So it was a solid team effort tonight. Missing a couple of other teammates, couldn't make it, but thanks you guys for putting on an awesome broadcast. Can't wait to go back and watch it. I'm sure it'll be as fun to watch as it was to race. And thanks to everyone coming out and racing the series.
All right, buddy. Well, thank you much. We appreciate you coming to check in with us here. And, man, I'll tell you what here, James, we'll come to you first. Yes, please, more of and lots of it. This was just absolutely spectacular.
Oh, this was one of the best races we've ever broadcast. Like, oh my God, it was just wall-to-wall action. Like, I couldn't believe some of the stuff that we were watching, and the fact that we didn't wad up a whole bunch of cars. Like, you can't really ask for much more than what we got from that.
Yeah, and Bizzle, as we get ready to head to the break here and get ready for the D-Class race, you talked about it a little bit, but less power, almost as much downforce, and really nowhere to escape to. The D-Class race might even be the better show of the two here tonight.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that one because they're going to be just about flat out. It's going to be just like Talladega or Daytona in a stock car, except these are open wheel vehicles. You can't bump, you can't touch fenders, you can't side draft. You really got to focus on not making contact with other cars while also being forced to run millimeters apart from them. So it's going to be absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. We're going to be back here in just about 10 minutes' time with the U.S. Open Wheel D-Class cars. Don't go anywhere. You are watching the U.S. Open Wheel doubleheader right here on the National Racing Network.
I don't know why it's so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
Bro, you gotta stop with that depression stuff. That's a white people thing.
Escúchame, en esta casa los hombres no lloran.
You alright?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you want to talk about it? Thanks for hearing me out, bro. Appreciate it.
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad.
Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
I'm Ryan Newman, and since I started with Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives, I found out that some people think that they can't be an organ donor. The truth is, anyone can sign up to be an organ donor.
Anyone?
Anyone?
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. Anyone can sign up to be an organ donor. So don't count yourself out because somebody's counting on you. Go to driventosavelives.org and sign up today.
But my heart's going to you, Ryan.
Love that shirt.
Welcome back, everybody. More iRacing action here on the National Racing Network. And now, we just had a great race. Now I think we're going to get another one. The time for the Stars and Cars, the U.S. Open Wheel D-Class Championship to take on Worldwide Technology Raceway. Madison, Illinois. It's Gateway, but it's on the other side of the river. As we mentioned before, 1.25 miles in length. Will Power holding the track record here. We say it again just so James Watson can get his jollies off. Nothing? No? All right. Let's bring up our graphics here as, let's see. David Porcelli going quick time in the practice session. Qualifying now, just getting underway. Let's pick up a guy who thus far is having a great season, not only in Indy Pro, but in USF as well. Brian Labarge making his way out on to the race course.
Yeah, I didn't see the helicoptering car until it was almost too late, and then spun to the inside to avoid it.
Also on the racetrack, Carter Lundy, Ted Burns, David Porcelli, Kylo Ciacelli, they're all in this one. Ben Carswell's gotten the oval I rating up. He is car number 4 for tonight's race. And let's take a look here. We'll bring up the side-by-side up here for you in just a second. Carter Lundy also out on the racetrack. Laps are starting to come in. Brian Labarge, quick time. 33.457 seconds. Carter Lundy going to be only 22 thousandths back. How about you've got to go back to 7th to find a 10th? Oh my goodness. The AJ Camargo with a good run. Up into the 4th position. Coming down to the close of lap number 2. What can Labarge do? What can Lundy do? Across the line at almost identical moments. And Lundy goes quick time. 33.398, 59 thousandths ahead of Brian Labarge. Let's pick up Richard Holt. He's in a Prost livery tonight. Oh, that's fantastic. Let's see who else is out here.
Usually we frown upon the F1 schemes, but obscure teams like that we will accept.
Yeah,
we mostly hate the Senna schemes, and it's not that we hate Senna, it's just everyone runs a Senna scheme. And
that is
Red
correct.
The Red Bull. Don't forget the Red Bull.
That is correct. Lap number 2 going up on the board for Richard Holt. Second quick, 33.435. Camargo up to 3rd at a 436. Oh my goodness. Stephen C. Thompson moving himself up inside the top 10. Pick up Max Cooper making his way into turns, I believe that's turn 3 and 4. Yeah, off of turn number 4. Also have Kylo Ciacelli on the racetrack. The lap for Cooper is going to move him up to the 9th position. Now we'll pick up David Porcelli off of turn number 2. Ciacelli on his first hot lap. Porcelli working his second. Over the start-finish line, Kylo Ciacelli goes 14th quick, 33.561. Porcelli off of turn number 4. What does the lap look like for car number 1? It will be quick time, 33.357. Oh my goodness, only 41 thousandths separating the two at the head of the line. Mike Harris going to be the last car to complete his qualification runs. Kylo Ciacelli on the racetrack. We're down to 60 seconds left to go. Ciacelli goes second quick, 33.382. It is an even 1/10 of a second between first and 7th on the grid.
Does that mean we're going to get a 5-wide finish this time?
I hope so. Mike Harris coming around to complete his second lap of qualifications. And it is very quickly going to be time to get these cars out onto the grid. Harris's second lap only going to be good for 18th quick. Oh my goodness. So now time for us to get ready to go racing here. And this one's going to be a quick one here, Patrick, because no cautions and a shorter number of laps, only 25. You're going to have to be at the front basically this entire time.
Yeah, you are going to have to fight for it. If you are in the back, your number one goal is get to the front. If you're in the front, your number one goal is don't get run over.
The two guys that made contact just about a half hour ago are going to line up on road number 1. David Porcelli to the inside with a lap time of 33.357, lining up alongside the number 5 of Kylo Ciacelli. Row 2 will have the Sim Racing Center number 2 of Carter Lundy alongside the Prost Gitanis number 8. Gitan? I don't know. I don't speak French. Number 8 of Richard Holt.
Paging Sebastian Kinder?
Yes. The AJ Camargo lining up alongside. That is a very, I want to say, Connor Daly kind of IndyCar-ish livery throwback. We're going to have to take a look for that one. Look for Connor Daly's last couple of Indy 500 liveries. Great one there from Corey Mathis as we kick off the Memorial Day weekend. Ryan Labarge lining up alongside of Ben Carswell. That'll be on the 4th row for tonight's race. Rod Eskew and Ted Burns occupying row number 5.
Yeah.
Row 6 will have Max Cooper and Stephen C. Thompson. Row number 7, Robert Brooks and Dean Gagliano. Joseph Heath, again, the yellow submarine alongside the Polaroid number 6 of Josh Whitaker. Nelson Olinsky lining up on the inside of row number 9 alongside the number 17 of Mike Harris. 18 cars on the grid here. Base car is in. Porcelli has control of the field. He tries to slow him down a little bit down the front straightaway. It's not going to work. Green flag goes in the air. We are underway. Get the look from high overhead into turn number 1. Looks like everybody going to start to single file out just a little bit.
Wow, we're almost getting a breakaway here.
Yeah, it's up to about 4/10 of a second. And Porcelli going to try to snake the field around here. The problem is I just don't see it working for 25 laps. Now, James, wouldn't it be semi-irrelevant if you line up 3, 4, 5 cars nose to tail? The leader can snake around and do all he wants. It sort of doesn't matter if you're going to put that many cars together.
To a point. Like, it's going to be a little difficult to make passes because of the lack of horsepower compared to the PM18. Like, it's going to be difficult to power around the outside of 3 and 4. 1 and 2, it's still going to be the preferred way to go, but it's going to be difficult in 3 and 4. So you kind of can because of that, but you know, it's still risky, and people still don't take too kindly to the straightaway snake.
Yeah, I think it's dumb. In fact, I think it should be outlawed across motorsports in general.
I agree. I think I've always liked F1's rule where you only get one move. You get to pick whenever you make that move, but you only get one. I think that would make things a lot more interesting because if you're the leader, when do you make that move? How do you make that move?
Well, we talked about the guys behind playing nice, and they did, and they've caught back up. Porcelli's going to have Ciacelli all over the back end. Holt running the inside lane. He's going to give a little bit of arrow shove to Ciacelli. He'll be out towards the front as they get to turn number 3. We'll see if Porcelli can keep the momentum up. And it will not matter. Wow. Kylo Ciacelli grabs the race lead. Carter Lundy, 3 wide. That's going to be second, third, and fourth. 3 wide, heading to 1. Ted Burns now having the look. Are we again going to see Porcelli and Lundy finish about 1/1000th of a second apart?
I believe we might.
3 times this season, Porcelli. Okay, 3 times they've gone head-to-head. Lundy has 2 wins to Porcelli's 1. However, one of those was a battle for second and third, but that's sort of irrelevant. The total gap is 2 1/1000ths of a second across all 3 of those races.
Which is, that's mind-breaking. Can't fathom the fact that 2 people can have such consistently close finishes. That is just absolutely insane.
Yeah, actually, looking at the numbers for this weekend's Indy 500, the entire front row is separated over 10 miles of driving by less than the blink of an eye. Just absolutely incredible stuff.
How can you not be romantic about motorsports?
The cars at the current era, the level of skill of the drivers in the current era, it's unparalleled. You don't even see that in Formula One anymore. You saw it once 20-something years ago now, where the top 3 finished all right with each other. Once in the pinnacle of motorsport. IndyCar is considered a lower level tier to many F1 fans, and we're seeing it week in, week out, and almost on a yearly basis
That's
at this
tight.
point.
Ted Burns and Richard Holt were banging wheels off of turn 4. Everybody keeps it on the straight and narrow. If you want to find 1 second of gap, you have to go from first place Kylo Ciacelli all the way back to 12th place Joseph Heath. Let's go back to the blimp shot here. There's the whole field, basically. Couple of cars about 2.5 seconds back, but that's about it. Oh, Holt has to back out of it. He was right there on David Porcelli into one. Porcelli gave him the squeeze.
Crazy.
Man, this battle's really good back behind your top four as well. Stephen C. Thompson, Ted Burns, AJ Camargo, Max Cooper, well, everybody else basically. As Porcelli again looks inside of Ciacelli. Lundy's going to be right there as well. Next time by, it'll be crosswalks. Oh, we've got a big pile up in the back of the field. Camargo's involved. Alinsky's involved.
And no cautions here in the D-Class race.
Lundy to the lead this time. They're going to be 3 wide for second, maybe 3 wide for the lead into one.
Oh, 3 wide for the lead.
Again.
Again.
It's always terrifying every time you see it. Like, I've seen them do this hundreds of times right now, and every time I'm still clinching my seat because one of these times it's gonna end in disaster. There's no way they can keep getting away with it.
That is correct. We're taking a look here to see if we can find the incident back in turn number 2. Get you that one up on the Hot Shoe Raceway instant replay. Actually happened a little bit ahead. There we go. All right, let's bring this one up here on the replay. We'll keep the battle with the leaders here ready to go, but a little bit of help from the AJ Camargo. Several cars. Oh, wow, that was a huge hit for Brian Labarge, too. Several cars going to be involved.
That's not going to be good for Brian and his chase for top 5 in points.
Lundy back to the inside. We're down to not many laps to go here. 10 that last time by the start-finish line. Holt having to look down to the inside. That incident did separate the pack out. Your top 8 are still in contention for the race win. Ciacelli holds the lead for now. Here comes Porcelli back to the inside into 3. Lundy tries to shove Holt out of the way. No loss that time by Holt, going to be able to hold on for 3rd. 8 1,000ths at the line. I think Kylo Ciacelli led the lap. Here comes Lundy. He's looking 3 wide into 3. Ciacelli has to back out of it. Is it going to be a blue light special for Carter Lundy at the line? No, not that time.
Porcelli by a hair.
And Holt's now down to the inside. That's going to shuffle Lundy back out.
Well, clearly 3 wide isn't enough, so we need someone to make it 4.
In the middle, 3 wide.
Thanks, Claire.
Yeah, Claire is absolutely losing her mind up there. How about Josh Whitaker? He's up 13 for where he started this race. He now runs in third. Lundy and Porcelli side by side. Oh my goodness. And I'll tell you what, Patrick, this is really where this being a momentum car comes into play. Wow, 3 cars within 25 thousandths at the line that time, and it was Porcelli leading the lap, and Ciacelli goes to the front into 1.
Yeah, you kind of have to plan your move a lap ahead of time. Just kind of build up the run, get it. Maybe now looking even closer at these guys, maybe you kind of just do it coming out of the corner. Just plan it out of the corner, back yourself up, and by the end of the straightaway, you can get it.
Yeah, because if you try to plan your attack too early, then you're just going to have to deal with another car joining the battle. You're like, oh, great. Oh, they backed out. No balls.
Oh, it holds up into the wall. Richard Holt bounces off the wall. There may have been contact with Josh Whitaker. So now it'll be down to 7 cars in contention for the win with 4 to go. Ciacelli and Porcelli drag race to the line. It was Ciacelli by 15 thousandths. Lundy back inside into 1. This is where the big brain moves are going to start to come in and say, I don't want to be first or second with 1 to go.
Yes, the big brains moves have to come in to counteract the tiny brain moves.
Oh man, I thought Porcelli was going to try to cross all the way over, but Stephen C. Thompson was there. Thompson up 8, running 4th. And here comes Ben Carswell.
We know Ben's not afraid to make it 3 wide.
They're coming down to the white flag. 1 lap to go here at Gateway. 7 cars within 0.2 of a second. I think Lundy may have made the move too early.
I agree.
Oh, they're banging wheels off at 2. 2 rows, 3 wide into 3.
There's no way they live.
Oh, there's a little bit of contact. Here's the move by Porcelli. The drag race to the line. Ciacelli wins it.
Oh my God.
Kylo Ciacelli beats Carter Lundy by 1/100th of a second. David Porcelli,
only 8 down behind Lundy.
Back. Oh my goodness. What a finish.
That, like, what?
Another iRacing top 10.
How is that even more exciting than the race earlier?
Fixed setups, my friend, and less horsepower.
Oh, Kylo Ciacelli laying down a nice set of donuts here.
Oh, man, those are almost perfect circles.
Almost as good as Westshire's.
I am a firm believer in take away horsepower and the racing gets better.
Yep.
You force the drivers to have to build momentum and keep it so much better than just raw horsepower battles.
Yeah, wow. Absolutely incredible stuff. what a finish here from Kylo Ciacelli, Carter Lundy, and David Porcelli. They did it again. Let's take a look here. We'll get ready for our Victory Lane interviews. And let's see. Oh, look at that. We've already got all three of our drivers ready to go here. Let's bring in David Porcelli to talk to us here quickly as we get the replay machine fired up. David, congratulations on the podium. I think we got what we expected out of this one here tonight.
Oh my gosh. That was that was even crazier than the last race.
Yeah, that's what we were saying. It was like, holy crap, can this thing get any better? And it did. Talk us through it a little bit, because it seemed like you guys were able to time the runs, whether they started with a dive bomb into one, making the move off of two, or even trying something off of turn 4. You were going to be 3 wide at the finish of this one.
Yeah. And once we had started that 3 wide formation, I was looking for a way out, because outside was strong when it was 2 wide, but when it went 3 wide, it looked like the middle or the inside lane was preferred, and I just couldn't find a way out of there. Tried on the last lap, and just wasn't enough. Really, really exciting. I'm thrilled for Kylo to have such an exciting win. Was hoping to beat Carter and gutted that I wasn't able to make that happen. But I still think we've got what we need in order to lock away the championship. We'll see how it goes down after week 12 next week.
Yeah, and now after 4 battles with Carter Lundy this season, I believe the total is up to 1/100th of a second, separating you guys in 4 separate battles. Just incredible stuff. Talk very briefly about that one, because you guys have put on a show.
Yeah, just actually kind of honored to be able to race with him. I know that he holds a esports position with Williams, and just glad I can sort of put my money where my mouth is when it comes to the real showdown. So really hope he keeps racing with us. It's been such a blast over the past couple of seasons, and I hope he can participate enough next season that we'll have a tight championship points battle heading into the final week.
Well, yeah, because you've got a big one coming up next week at Alton. The gap, 1297 to 1232, and he's only counted 7 weeks.
Yeah. So he's going to get a huge boost next week. It looks like he's probably going to lock away the USF2000 championship if he's only counted 7. All I can hope for is that the tally ends up in my favor. We'll see how it shakes out.
All right, David. Well, congratulations on the 3rd place finish here tonight. Let's bring up the guy who finished 2nd in this one, Mr. Carter Lundy. And, man, I'll tell you what, Carter, I don't know what else you try to do, but, man, just a fantastic battle there.
Yeah, definitely it was. I think for the last 5 laps we were 3 wide, and I kept coming up a little bit higher on the exit just because I thought David wouldn't be there, but he just kept sticking his nose in on the exit. So I had to keep coming low after the corner, or else we'd have crashed a few times there. But yeah, those last few laps were pretty crazy, and I guess that's as tight of a 3-way photo finish as you can get. So pretty good race.
Yes, it was. 18 thousandths was the separation across the top 3. Things are looking pretty good for you, though, in terms of the championship. The standings have updated. You've counted 7 weeks, and you're only about 65 back of David. But that still means you got to show up next week and put a big number up to try to, negate any of the points that David might have. But you still have a really good shot at claiming another USF2000 championship.
Yeah, well, I guess that one's for the official one.
The officials,
in-game
yes.
one. I don't even know what the situation is with the broadcast. I haven't even seen that, and I missed a few weeks, so I guess that one's probably off the table. But it's been a fun season for the races that I've made, so hopefully another good one in Elton Park.
All right, buddy. Well, congratulations on the second place finish here tonight in this one. And now let's bring in our race winner, Mr. Kylo Ciacelli. And, man, I'll tell you what, Kylo, we were saying that you probably didn't want to be first or second.
It's still me.
Oh, it's still you.
And I
Oh, well, there we go. Okay. Hold on.
Technical difficulty.
Yeah, no, it's just a wetware interface error. The moron doing the dragging didn't drag the right guy. Kylo, congratulations. We were saying that you didn't want to be first or second on the white flag lap, it looked like. You were in that position. How were you able to pull this win off?
5 consecutive practice finishes. Racing 3 wide there for the last 5 laps. Turns out the middle lane is the preferred lane in that scenario. Guy on the inside gets pinched, and the guy on the outside doesn't have enough momentum. So 9 thousandths of a second, we take those.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how far, what the gap is. At speed, it was basically a couple of inches. Talk us through the race a little bit, though, because it seemed like you were able to keep the car up towards the front, qualify at the front, and stay there.
Yeah, it's a lot of laps at this track in the last couple of weeks here, so just repetition at this point. Even though this was the first, race I've done in this car and this setup, I did about 5 laps of practice before qualifying. So the car was there. It stuck for me, and it did what I wanted it to do, and it ended up working for us in the end. Great race, though. Excellent race.
Yes, it was. It was a ton of fun to call, too. So, well, thank you very much. We appreciate you coming to check in with us here. And before we let you go, make sure you do all the big sponsor plugs and thank yous.
Yeah, for sure. Fixed setup race, but still shout out Team Watson Race Setups. Go check them out for all your open setup needs. Road, dirt, oval, whatever it is. Limo Boys Racing, DeChaco Farms, Petro Canada, Pit Viper, and the Cannabis Retail Store. See you guys next time.
Thanks, brother. We appreciate you coming to hang out with us here for just a minute. And, man, I'll tell you what, James, we thought Gateway was going to give us a good one. It absolutely delivered in spades. 2 just fantastic shows here tonight.
Oh, my God. And it feels like we've been saying this a lot the last couple of weeks, but this has to be the best night of racing that we broadcast. Every week they're getting better and better and better. And we saw about 1 million 1,000-car wrecks, and none of them actually came to fruition. If that just doesn't show the absolute talent level in this series, then I don't know what does. Because some real life drivers and some real life series can't even go 3 wide lap after that for that long. So yeah, it's just an incredible night of racing and oval week, man. We always tell you we need to figure out a way to get it back to 3 oval weeks this season.
Yeah, I would agree with that too. And Bizzle, this one we're going to have a championship battle heading off to Alton Park next week. Back to kind of the traditional thing for these cars, but as I remember, Alton, you still have a lot of drafting that you're doing there, and quite frankly, we're going to see probably another great race out of these guys.
Yeah, Alton Park is going to be a fantastic track. Me and Johnny Avila were actually doing some testing in the USF2000 at Alton. Just in preparation for the race. Johnny Avila is going to run that one. Hopefully we can get him in the booth as an in-car reporter because he was actually doing pretty good, learned the track pretty quickly, and we might get to see him shine.
Yeah, I am looking forward to that. The Sim Racers Club coming back next week. They will be back on Wednesday night. Monday night, we'll be back with the iRacing Silver Crown Cup, followed by that Wednesday night show for the Sim Racers Club, kicking off their summer season. And then we're right back here next Thursday night for the U.S. Open Wheel doubleheader. And just remember, folks, Memorial Day, it is great to say thank you to our veterans and thank them for their service, but this day is not about them. This is about the hundreds of thousands of Americans that have made the ultimate sacrifice defending our country in wars from 1776 to the current day. Be respectful, I guess, is what we ask for. And the save the fireworks for the 4th of July. Go put an American flag in a national veterans cemetery. Go go visit your veterans, and obviously, we do say thank you to them, and we appreciate their service. But remember what the Memorial Day holiday is for coming up on Monday. This weekend, though, it kicks off tomorrow night, the greatest racing weekend of the year, the Carb Night Classic at Indianapolis Raceway Park. That will be available on a combination of Flow and the Road to Indy YouTube channel. Saturday, it is the NASCAR Xfinity Series from Charlotte, and then Sunday, the greatest racing day of the year, the Monaco Grand Prix and the Coke 600 bookend, the greatest spectacle in racing, the 107th edition of the Indianapolis 500. Enjoy it. If you're going to throw a party, do it on Sunday. We'll maybe even do some watch-alongs in the TNT Discord. Discord.gg/TNT Racing. We'll be hanging out in there throughout the day, I think, bits and pieces on Sunday. But with that, we are getting the heck on out of here. It's time for us to start the weekend party, too. For Patrick Byrne, James Watson, and everybody here at the National Racing Network that makes these shows happen, my name is Chris Graham. Thank you so much for coming to hang out with us. We will talk to you all soon. Enjoy the holiday weekend, everybody.